So our live stream a couple days ago, the question got brought up about dealing with a shoulder issue.
Mm.
I think there's a lot that goes into an injury, but even more that goes into after an injury. I constantly tell people the best thing for rehab is to be as aggressive as you can appropriately. Obviously, listening to what the doctors are saying, but pushing that boundary as much as possible. You have been injured more times than I can imagine being injured. When you think about coming out of an injury, what do you think about?
It depends on the injury,
I'm
honestly.
going to give you a specific example. Let's go at your shoulder.
Mm.
The last time.
It was so terrible. I didn't realize how bad it was going to be. Like, I've broken collarbones before. I mean, I've had a whole bunch of surgeries. But until we got the shoulder done, I didn't realize how bad it was going to be. And, you know, even we got the labrum repaired, we did the AC joint, bicep tendinosis. That was shocking how miserable that was. And to realize that people do 3 and 4 of those back to back, I was completely knocked on my ass. Like, I thought I'd be able to, grind through this. And I'm like, oh, 3 months in a sling, like, yeah, for the average person. Dude, when you can't wash your armpit, you literally can't get dressed. Like, you can't wash your hair. Like, you can't do anything. It's humbling. Because I never thought it would be that bad. And then when you're starting to go through the range of motion to try to build back into it, it hurts so bad, and it feels like they're going to snap it. Like, when they start doing these range of motion, he's applying pressure, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, trying to tap out. He's like, you got to trust me. And I'm like, dude, you don't realize what's about to happen to me.
Yeah.
And then he'll break it down like, hey, man, I realize it's your first shoulder surgery. I've rebuilt back 2,700 of these. I promise you, you've got another 6 degrees. Oh, my God. And he'll push it in 5, 5.5, 6 degrees, hold it, and you're like, oh, my God, it's going to pop. Next day you come back in, straight to 6. And you're like, 7. Like, oh, it's going to pop. 8. Like, next day you come in, now it's at 9. Then it's at 12. And you're like, okay, like, it's going to go. Like, you can go so much farther. You got to lean on the professionals to go. But to your same thing, man, like, I got so stuck with, I don't want to redo this surgery one more time. I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to live my whole life guarded. And I see people, even my uncle's like that. I mean, he limits his entire life. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. Nope. And after a while, you realize that I've got a lot of years left on this earth right now, and I really don't want to have a bunch of long-lasting limitations because I'm not willing to push through this pain or this trust barrier. Like, I don't trust my shoulder enough. I don't trust you enough. I don't trust myself enough. And really, it's not until you have that blind faith, like, you know what, dude? It's the only thing this dude does. He's been dealing with shoulders, and he knows exactly how far to push it, and I'm just going to lean in, and I'm just going to give him the wheel. Just push it. But there are definitely times where you don't trust the process, like hanging from the bar. Like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, Vern, that's all well and good. You're not inside of this vessel. You have no idea what this feels like, dude. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, if I exhale right now and I fully release, it's going to pop. You're like, no, it won't. Okay. And you finally get to the point, like, I'll fucking show you, watch this. And jump on the bar and like, it didn't pop. Shit. How long ago could I have been doing this? Like,
yeah.
God damn it. But I mean, it is, man. It's that chipping away at it every single day. Am I 1% better? 1 degree more range of motion? Do I feel 1% more confident in the joint? If I do, that's a win, dude. Knowing it's going to take a long time. And I know I've told you before, when I broke off my femoral neck and had to have that surgery, I didn't squat past 90. Year and a half, 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it. I could hold on the wall and I could descend down and hold the bottom. If you gave me a 5-pound kettlebell, I had this mental block. I can't break past 90. It's going to ball and socket's going to snap off. I couldn't do it over and over and over. And then Dan John did that squat clinic with the goblet squat. He's like, you have to build confidence in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grab a 5-pound kettlebell. Just, oh my God, I'm like right at 90. And I was like, it's not going to go. And finally just, fuck it. Exhale and you drop down in the hole and just hold it. Like, okay. Well, 5 pounds turns to 10, 10 turns to 20,
mm-hmm.
20 turns to 50, turns into 100. And it's like, man, I could have been doing this entire time, dude. I was just scared of re-injuring myself again. And that's one of the things I mean, you say it, dude. Mental scar tissue lasts a lot longer than physical scar tissue. That I can attest to you, that is absolutely true, man. It's not until you get comfortable enough, like, I've already been hurt. I've already had the surgery. I've already done the rehab. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to have to redo the whole thing. I've never had to redo it before. They've been right so far. I mean, I've had a bunch of really bad surgeries, and they haven't steered me wrong yet. Maybe just trust them now. Lean into it. Yeah, reestablishing that confidence, that's my number one thing I tell guys now. Listen to the doctors. The moment they say you're clear, push. Push. If you let it go 6 months, man, I'm telling you, you'll leave 70, 80% untapped. And you're like, I never really need to throw a baseball again. I never really need to do a pull-up. I don't really need to do a snatch. I don't need to do a shoulder press. Like, my lifestyle's not conducive for it. It's fine. I don't need it. Never know. You're really limiting your whole lifespan right now because you're not willing to push through a little bit of pain and discomfort.
For someone that's experienced so many setbacks and injuries, I would imagine there's an expectation. Like when you get hurt, in your head, you're already creating a timeline. Like, I'm going to be back in 6 weeks. Give me 2 months. Watch. Like, there's already, and I know you, and I know most people, like, this isn't going to hold me back. Oh, when is that vacation? Oh, I'll be good by then. They're already creating this timeline in their head. Like, I got this expectation. I think a lot of people, the hesitancy is they have that expectation. Like, say, I'm on the fence about getting shoulder surgery, the guy that asked that question. Understandably so. I think I can fix it myself. Maybe you can't. But his expectation of, I don't know if I can do it. When you do have those moments where you do have that surgery and like that shoulder, you're like, this is way more than I thought. Like, I thought I was going to be back. I thought I was going to be different. I thought I was going to be the person that was going to show them their case studies were wrong. And then you end up being, no, I am. I am the case study. I am the percentage. I am the statistic. Or worse, it doesn't go well, and now you have even a further. How do you manage that? Because I think that's the biggest problem with rehab settings is the setbacks, because you've already overcome so much. You've agreed to do the surgery. You've agreed to start over, and then you believe in this process, and the process is absolutely right. But maybe it's just didn't touch your expectations the way you thought. Like, how do you do that?
I think now I look at it like just being a professional athlete, being a pro. Aaron Rodgers blows out an Achilles. Do you think he wanted to blow out an Achilles? No. Think he wanted to get surgery and have to do all the rehab? No. What's he going to do? Rehab at 100%. Full time, full dedication, full focus. Like, this is my only job. There's nothing else I can do except devote all my time and attention to getting this better. And if I just take that approach now, like, I already know it's not going to be easy. I already know this is going to suck. There's not going to be a single day of rehab where I'm like, man, I can't wait to get back in here tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I have to do it.
Yeah.
I'd much rather go into it with a positive mindset now. Like, well, did I do better than I did yesterday? Yep. If I didn't, why didn't I? Like, did I have shitty sleep? My nutrition off? Is there something else? Is there something I did? I pushed too far. Maybe I didn't push far enough. Maybe I was too guarded in rehab session 2, 3, 4. Now I get to 5, 6, 7. Like, he's like, oh, I really thought you'd be at 30% range of motion now. Maybe I'm just too guarded. Maybe I'm not leaning in the process enough. Just kind of recalibrating day by day. This guy says it's going to take me 6 months to come back. I want to do it in 4. Well, I'm at 4 months and I'm not even close. Well, he told me it was going to take 6 months. Like, maybe he's smarter than I am. Maybe, generally speaking, I am just normal. I am just a human. I told myself this long that I'm not. I'm superhuman. I can heal faster because of things I've come back for in the past. That's just not my reality. My reality is just going to take 6 months of a lot of long hours, a lot of dedication, a lot of uncomfortableness. But at the end of the day, it has to be done. There's no cheat code for it. Like, you're not going to be able to skip this progression. You are going to have to rebuild every single day to get this thing back to 100%, or it never will be. Like, you got to burn the ships at a certain point. Like, I'm not going to live my life with limitations. I have to go the whole way. I have to really focus on this rehab right now. Like, nothing else truly matters. You just have to.
One of my pet peeves with practitioners and coaches is the trust the process. And they'll say, and I will reference to them, like, instead of telling someone they need to trust the process, I'll say, hey, you need to give them a reason to trust this process. Like, give them some sort of value, some sort of validation, some sort of information that it's going to relieve this person from the stress of that hesitancy to believe it. So for someone that's had so many issues, when you think about engaging in a surgery or something that's a little bit further, some sort of rehab program, whatever it is, what makes you commit to that? Because I think that's a lot of people that are like, well, I think I can do it myself, or I think I can do it. Have you exhausted all resources, and now you're like, this is the next progression. Like this is the only thing I've controlled everything I can control, and I'm at a point now where I have to. Like, how do you now trust that?
As soon as my limitations start to match my capability, we start going to a 50-50 split.
Explain that a little bit.
Like, I can't shoulder press, I can't throw, I can't jump on a pull-up bar, I can't do free range of motion without
Got it.
really isolated, like, hey, throw me that real quick.
Yep.
Right? Like,
You're
hey,
negotiating the obstacle,
hey,
as you said in the past.
yeah, like, jump on a pull-up bar. I'm like, you ready? It's like, it shouldn't take all that. As soon as I have to have so much reservation, it's time to get surgery, dude.
Yep.
Right? As soon as my capacity can't meet it anymore, it's like, I'm living too much limitation right now. I got to get the surgery. Like, do I want this thing to continue? No. Because I never know what tomorrow's going to expect of me. Right? Like, kid falls down some I got to reach down with some dynamic move and grab, or I got to do something right now. It's like, I can't do that.
Yep.
Like, there's no fighting through that. I can't do that. You talk about, like, grappling. Like, my shoulder's jammed up right now. Like, oh, you want to grapple? I can't. Like, oh, no, you can. No, I can't. Like, there's no labrum connecting my shoulder. Like, I can't do it. You give me 3 pounds of pressure, it's popping. Like, I already know it. Now I know all the movements I can do, but right now, with what I need, I got to weigh it out. Like, do I really want to grind out and do BJJ 5 days a week? No, my current lifestyle right now, it doesn't suit me. If I want to later, then I'll probably have to get another shoulder surgery. But for right now, I can do everything I want to do, vice a couple things that aren't really ever asked of me. And I feel like I'm pretty well-rounded. As long as I'm well-rounded enough to get through everything I want to get through, I'm good.
Do you ever feel like you've checked the box when it comes to a rehab? It's kind of a loaded question, I guess, from a rehab. So you had an issue, you dealt with it. Do you ever feel like you checked the box, or do you feel like you're constantly, like, touching on it every now and then? Like, let me see. Like, I'll even see you used to do stuff in the gym. You just grab the pull-up bar. I'm like, is he doing that for his back, or is he doing that to check his shoulder?
Shoulder.
Like, is he just, like, doing that check, and you're like, okay, I'm good still?
And like sometimes I can feel, especially my right shoulder, I can feel like rear delt, scabs, upper into the lat where they connect. I can feel like some tightness there. I'm like, it's really limiting my range of motion right now. It's like, let me just hang for a little bit. Let me see what it is. And then I'll exhale and I'll start to release some of the weight on this side, so it starts to overload my right. And it's like, build the confidence, load it. A little bit of subscap pull into it. Okay, I'm good. A little more. It's like, I feel good, dude. Okay. Like sometimes I need to touch it just to reestablish my confidence. Like we're about to do some heavy dumbbell press. I'm like, I got to do something to micro win right now. Show myself I'm good enough. And a lot of that, like, you know, you and Davis are strong as shit, so I'll just throw out random weights. Say we're doing seated dumbbell shoulder press, and you guys go 60s, 90s, 100s, 110s. I might go 60, 70, 80. I'm only touching them. I'm just reestablishing confidence over and over. Like, I'm good on the 80s. I can really milk them. Cool. Let's milk the 90s. Cool. Let's milk the 100s. Like, I can really maximize these. I feel good, dude.
Just building confidence. It's almost
Yeah.
like a stress exposure. Like, expose myself to it, responded well.
Yep.
Now I need more. I need more.
You're trying to find the limitations and not, you know, grossly below passing, but touch them. Like, can I add 1, 2%? Like, oh yeah, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Next time, this is my threshold of entry. Next time, instead of going 60, 70, 80, I'm going 70, 80. I'll just slowly start to erase it a little bit. Maybe I'll go 70 for 2 sets.
When you say build confidence, micro wins moving up, that's looking at the spectrum of growth as a linear model, which we both know that doesn't exist. So what do you do when you experience those hiccups? So those are all the glimmers of moving up, of positivity. Now you go check your shoulder, or you come into lift and you're like, maybe you just slept wrong. And now in your head, that mental scar tissue lasts a lot longer than physical. That mental scar tissue lasts a lot longer than physical scar tissue, and you're thinking like, is it coming back? Did I do something wrong? Like, have you experienced that?
Yeah.
So what now? Now the moment hits. We're doing shoulders that day. You come in to do band work. We're repping out. We're moving the spine. We're working our scaps. We're moving out to the shoulder, and you feel that twinge, and you instantly go, "Fuck! I know what this feels like." Now what do you do?
I do shoulder mobility circuits.
and just try to get that area moving the best you can.
I mean, how many times have I asked you to hit me with the car buffer?
Exactly.
Like, I'll drop down that child's pose and I'll start walking my hands over and I'll feel it and I'll just start to milk it. And a lot of it, I mean, you guys make fun of me. Sometimes I'll go in there and I'll just like do free range of motion. I'll do that weird quad stretch that I do laying on my back, and I'll just start to circle it up. I'll just get in these weird precarious positions, and then I'll extend my arm out and I'll rotate my thumb north, south, and I'll try to feel to where the twinge is, and then I'll just try to get comfortable right there. Extend a little more, external, internal rotation, just try to maximize it. Just nobody cares. Nobody cares if I'm in here 52 weeks out of the year but me. So right now, I'm getting better because I'm listening to my body. I'm building that connection throughout the entire process. I'm being more intimately connected with my shoulder, with the shoulder joint, the limitations, and then finding out how far I can push it. But there's no reason for me to crush myself now, and now I'm down to 50 weeks out of the year. Now it's 48 weeks out of the year. I'm trying to walk to that gym Monday through Friday and get myself a little bit better than I was the day before. And if that's active recovery or just a mobility session, that's a win, dude. I'm not laying in bed. I'm not feeling sorry for myself.
Is there any point in that moment where you're thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this? Or you're thinking, maybe it's there, but you're like, I'm going to figure out a way. Or I'm going to be able to get something done. Because how many days have we come into lift, even me personally, and you'd be like, hey, maybe today's not a barbell press day. Maybe today I'm going dumbbells. So we still hit the pattern, we still hit the load, the intensity, but it didn't look the same. In my head, that's a monumental win. Because not only did you experience a setback, but you're like, I'm going to figure out a way to still get this done, rather than, I think a lot of people are like, I'm not going to do shoulders today, or I'm not going to press today. And I think that cascades, because then the next day you're like, well, I didn't do it. Do I need to do it? I'm just going to wait a week and do it. I'm going to do it next Tuesday. I'll get back on next Tuesday. And I'm like, no, you need to get back on this if you can, if you are capable.
Sometimes when I'm not feeling it, or I feel like I can't keep up the load, the rep range required, I'll just chase a pump, which I love to do. Like, there's nothing better. Like, do my shoulders jammed up, I'll grab 10-pound dumbbells and I'll do like a 300-piece lateral front raise.
I remember we used to do that to burn out.
Dude, and you feel so much better. Like, the dopamine release when you start hitting those numbers, those reps, like that kind of muscle fatigue, that kind of pump, like, have a bad day after that.
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, when we end it on a Friday, like, everybody is so much happier on Friday. And it's not because it's Friday, it's because of the workout we did. Everybody's chasing a pump, everybody's swelled up, we're all in tank tops. It's
Just
like,
having fun.
God, I feel good. Or like, if there's a grind session, today, we get done, got an extra 15 minutes, everybody chasing arm pump. Say no more, cousin, here we go. It's like, you feel so much better after you do it. So it doesn't have to be, I'm hitting a PR every single time. I'm just not letting my body win right now. My shoulder's got an issue. I've got a whole lot of other stuff I can work. I can get something right now. Just chase a pump. Just change range of motion. Get some bands out. Right? Like, just get some movement. But I'm not just going to sit here and lay dormant. Like, being stagnant has never been beneficial for me. Just not. Just laying there, just waiting for the world to re-evolve to where it puts you in a better position. It's not going to. You got to control your fate.